evening, everybody. Good night, or no, good evening, I think is what you say when you say hello.
Talking Dirty
with Maestro.
Not just numbers,
Not just stats.
it's about what they mean.
Oops. Maestro. We're gonna throw this into a movie.
See, is that better for you?
Educate me. I'm going to send to you the information.
Talking Dirty.
What up, my friend? Welcome to Talk Dirty with your boy. Me. Let's go hop right into some fun. Hopefully it's gonna be fun. Give you a little insight into what scouts see when things happen the way they happen, particularly during a run. I know I've talked about this through some of the other episodes earlier on. I want to get into some specifics right now and run down just the first minutes of this particular run in Dallas, Texas, the last run we have from the 28th. Start off by saying there was a lot of talent on the floor, physical talent, but there are a couple of things that one would look for, particularly at this level, from the fundamental side. So let's talk about that. The run opens up with Carson Cutbirth bringing the ball up solo. His teammates flare out, typical 2x2. And Carson has the ball, but no one is moving. So this is not on him. With no one moving, what do? You either try to take your man, or as the one handling the ball, you get your people to move, right? Well, that didn't happen. Eventually, Tyson Champion Doll comes up, takes the ball, top right key. Then, as he passes the ball to Don up the upper left wing, what happens is Cutbirth then cuts through the lane, but he cuts through blind. He cuts through blind and he cuts through high, which means he's not even looking for the ball. And if he had been looking for the ball and his teammate had been looking for him, it would have been a great pass and it would have been an easy 2 points because his man was just sort of side trailing, not full trailing. And we can talk about those details at another point. When Cutbirth cuts through the lane, then we get a man posted up with no leverage. Now, I thought maybe he would move. He was a bigger player. I thought maybe he would move. He would get leverage. He did not. Champion Doll then takes the ball back, pass out to Cutbirth. Cutbirth then takes a shot. He makes the shot. Well done, eventually. But there was a lot of wasted movement, a lot of dead time in that play. Now, if I want to run clock, that's great. But if I'm trying to move the flow of the game, that was not good at all. And things happen accidentally of each other, not with the intentions of each other. Dinkpate brings the ball up, and it was as if he did not even look at his teammates. He already knew what he was going to do. 2x2, typical run setup when no one doesn't really know anybody. There's no system in place. He comes in, he takes the ball up, he takes a shot. There's no pass. Wasted possession on a lot of different things. In an actual game, it's a waste of possession because nothing happened. Not in a game, it's a waste of possession because people were just standing around. And there was a lot of that in this particular run, and I want to address that later. Coming back up the floor, Cutbirth then makes a great pass into Woods. Now, it might have been a little high. Doesn't matter. It was a great pass. Woods was open, but he waited too long to make a move. And being guarded by a bigger player, we talked about this a few pods ago. Kenyon Young had the defensive leverage. The extra added half a second, plus Kenyon Young crashing to the ball as he should have, kept the shot from being made. Kenyon Young then takes the rebound, dribbles the ball up, decent handle, even better pass into the post to Nene Gibson. However, Nene Gibson received the ball without balance, no shot, has to kick the ball out to JJ Hoops. Sorry. Shot at the top of the key. Not not a good shot at all. You could have that shot at any given point. There was a lot of activity under the rim, and it looked like he had one guy flared to the open left corner post and another guy flared to the upper right wing post, and those would have been better shots, would have been more on point to how the flow of the game was going on. But then again, now this is hindsight 2020. I get that. I'm going to get into more of this in the second half. The next possession coming up the court, Cutbirth takes a screen, but then as he takes the screen, he runs into defense. If he would not use the screen or faded the screen, he had an open lane directly to the basket to the left. Now, I'm not going to say that maybe he doesn't have a handle with his left. I didn't really see that, but it would have been a much more effective offensive play. He moves into the defense, gives up leverage. He makes a pass to Jackson. Jackson, center left lane, takes it, was open. Nobody moved, though. Again, back to the nobody moving part. He gives the ball back to Cutbirth. Then Cutbirth basically cuts after responding with another pass. Jackson cuts too high in the lane. He cuts through the T for the defense. It would have been a moving screen if Cutbirth had moved, which means what? He had a lot of space behind him, not a lot of space in front of him. Nobody was able to grab leverage on this. Marv Don takes the ball quickly, quick pass to Champion Doll. Marv Don makes a cut, good move, but it's too high. When you cut high in the paint within arm distance of a defender, you're cutting too high. Then Cutbirth makes a pass to Jackson in the paint. Now here's what's really cool. The defense made a really bad switch, and he was open for about a half a second. And that's all you should need at this level. Half a second. If he had a look, remember our rules, when you get the ball up, you look down. What do you look for, fam? Talk to me. Feet. You look for those feet. There would have been no feet around him. He could have went any way he wanted to go. Would have been an easy bucket. Hold on to the ball too long. Then take advantage of the bad switch. Kicks back out to Cutbirth, who then makes a pass to Don on the right wing. Cutbirth cuts through the paint again, but without intention, not looking for the ball. He cuts all the way through. So he makes the big, what we call the inter-highway circle. He goes down, baseline out, sideline up, comes back through, gets the ball high at the top of the key, gets the ball as soon as he gets the ball, makes a shot. Again, I know it was early in the run. It didn't get not much better through the run. And that little example is about what we would talk about in terms of intention, understanding the floor, and understanding pace. And we're going to talk about that in the second half of this pod. So stay tuned. Catch you on the other side.
Thank you for listening to the Maestro. Want to get involved? Bring it.
Drop in discord.gg/SimWorld Hoops.
If you have the brain, join as a coach. If you have the game,
join as a player.
see the game, be the
the
game.
game.
Now, back to the Maestro.
Sorry. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And welcome back to Talking Dirty with your boy. The great thing about these runs, as we talked about, you heard the plays that we broke down at the start of the run from Dallas. Let's talk about those things and the holes that were left. Okay, first step. Bring the ball up. You see 2x2 on each side. You're off-centered right. This was the very first play. You have the entire left lane open. Fade right, jab step right, switch, left hand, through the paint, make everybody collapse. You're either going to, if your man's off leverage, you're straight to the bucket. If the defense collapse on you, you kick it out to one of your cats on the left-hand side or right-hand side, depending on where the pressure comes from. Easy bucket, better shot, because guess what? You're already in the paint for the rebound. The other thing that I saw and this is to the players who stand and wait and don't move. You have to move. You have to move with intention to give your ball handler an opportunity. And you have to understand when you move specifically, let's talk about the mistake I kept saying over and over again. And that was cutting through high through the paint. If you cut in the upper third, if you're cutting through the paint in the upper third and there's no one in the lower third, you're cutting too high. And if you're not looking for the ball when you cut, old heads will tell you that's no bueno either, because you're just basically moving on the floor with no reason. The other thing that I would say that I saw a lot of passes within the wingspan, and that's good because you're learning each other. That's what's going on. But I did not see the feet adjustment to receive the pass. There were a couple of passes down in the paint. And no, the passes weren't pitch perfect, but they were good enough. And the player, once they received the ball, was open enough where they could have acted upon that pass and got it easy too. Instead, especially at the start of the run, those passes into the paint ended up being kickouts to what I am going to just continually say were bad shots as they were going to the flow of the game. Now, you say it's just a run. I need to get my game on. I need to get my shot on. I need to get my whatever, because that's what people are going to see. I hope you just realize from the last, I'm going to say 4 minutes, that what coaches look for, what scouts look for, is the work you do away from the ball to receive the ball. Because, again, without moving with intention, you are leaving your teammate out and you're taking up space on the floor. If you're going to flash high, at least flash high in a semi-screen with your hand for the ball. If you're going to flash low just to run through to get back and get open again, it takes only minimum muscle usage to look at the ball while you're cutting. Because while you're there, you might as well, if the ball handler sees you open, can make a pass into you. Now you're under the rim. You do what you do. Boom, easy too. All these things we just described come down to one thing. It appears that so many times these really good players had their mind made up of what they were going to do and not responding to the situation at hand. If you do that, understand something very poignantly. You will, as often happened during this run yourself into defense, move yourself out of leverage for a shot, or even worse, just take a bad shot because, I'm here, I might as well. And believe me when I tell you, though you might make a shot and do a cool pose, if it's a bad shot, that's all the coach remembers, that's all the scout remembers. And while you're patting yourself on the back, I made the shot, you shouldn't. So hopefully this gives you some more insight to what coaches look for, to what scouts look for, as we're winding down just a few weeks away from the start of the season. It's about to get on. It's going to be some changes coming to my Durty shorts. Can't wait to tell you guys about that as that kicks in. Can't wait to do more work on some of the runs. We're going to get into some specific techniques and things like that as we go forward, because a lot of you have so many great questions about that, and I truly appreciate that. You trust me to give that to you. Oh, here's what I'm going to say next. Holla at your boy. Let me know what you want to hear. Let me know what you want to think about. Let me know what you want to talk about. Is it a specific technique? Is it a specific scheme sequence? Is it something else that's maybe on the court, but not necessarily fundamental related, but related to a higher level of playing the game with the appreciation of the fundamentals that comes along with that? You know what to do. Yell at your boy. Appreciate y'all so much. Don't forget to check out our other pods. And always remember, never let Jason Bourne borrow your car.
Like, I need to talk to somebody.
Thank you for listening to Maestro.
Thank you again for checking out Maestro. Drop a tag below and give us a piece of your mind. See you next time.
Well, thank you for your time. Have a wonderful day.